right, Kate, thanks. It is 5:02 right now and happening today, Tweed Airport holding a meeting on plans to make significant expansions to the building.
The airport wants to add more planes and parking, but right now neighbors living around it are not on board. Your reporter Owen Kingsley in New Haven right now with those concerns and the meeting tonight to address them.
Yes, the airport says that tonight they'll have this meeting where they're going to lay out the latest plans and details with expansion. They're also going to try to address a lot of the concerns that have been brought to them about noise and pollution and traffic by all the people living in the neighborhood surrounding the airport.
A brand new terminal, thousands of additional parking spots, and a bigger runway for larger planes. All of it coming with a massive price tag. The people living in this area have massive concerns about larger and noisier planes, more exhaust coming overhead, and more cars backing up traffic in this neighborhood. Tweed Airport says they're working to address all of it in their plans. Tonight, they'll share their latest. The massive project is still waiting for final zoning approval, but has been approved by New Haven, East Haven, and the Airport Authority.
The meeting tonight is at 6 o'clock over at Nathan Hale School. It's available to anybody in New Haven living in Ward 18, largely this neighborhood around the airport. And really at the end of that meeting is going to be your chance, those at home, to go ask your questions to airport officials about this project and how it might affect them. Your reporter live in New Haven, I'm Owen Kingsley, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Owen, thank you.